Hey guys, my name is Wildkard and welcome back to my channel. The Wallabies has announced a 38-man squad for the French series coming up in July. And the team has just been announced about a couple hours ago, and there's been some pretty interesting selections. And I am a little bit concerned about potentially losing to the French. The French team has been really good and has performed spectacularly with a very young team in the Six Nations this year. They came third, but they were doing really well until the team was hit with COVID. So overall, I am a little bit concerned for this Wallaby selection, but let's have a look who's been selected and who's missed out. So first of all, there was 12 Brumbies players selected, 9 Reds players selected, 9 Rebels players selected, which is very questionable in my opinion, 6 Waratahs and 2 Western Force players. A couple players that was quite interesting that did get selected due to injuries. Jordan Patea, a very prominent Reds center, not selected due to an injury, and also another big name in the Reds team, Suliasi Vunivalu, the guy with the greatest name in rugby. He was also injured, unfortunately. I was really looking forward for him to make a debut for the Wallabies and just carve up some French defense and score some tries. But unfortunately, he's injured. So let's go from the start. The prop in the prop positions, there are 6 props being selected, and starting with Alan Alatoa. He's 27 years of age, 120 kilos, 182 centimeters tall. He has 43 caps for the Wallabies and is one of the more experienced players on the field. I will have him for coming on as a substitution tight head to Tanela Tupou. So he's on the bench for me in the 23 starting man. Angus Bell, the second guy for the second prop selected. He has 3 games for the Wallabies, 3 caps. He plays for the Waratahs and is very young, 20 years of age. He's probably going to be just an injury reserve. He's not likely going to make into the starting 23 team. This guy, his name is Pone Fa'amasusili. He is uncapped for the Wallabies. He plays for the Melbourne Rebels. He's 24 years of age, 130 kilos, 196 centimeters tall. He could potentially get a start on the bench, but I think the tight head, the prop positions are pretty tight for the Wallabies. Unless someone gets injured, he's not likely going to get a start. So this guy, Scott Sio, he is 29 years of age, 115 kilos, 187 centimeters tall. He has 68 caps for the Wallabies, and he's very good at loose head. I will have him start at number 1 position for the Wallabies, and he's quite a spectacular scrummager himself, and really good with set pieces. And then we have the most experienced, second most experienced person in the team, James Slipper. He's 32 years of age, 117 kilos, 185 centimeters tall. He has 100 test match for the Wallabies already, and he's gonna. I have him coming on as a loose head, potentially to a loose head replacement for the Wallabies. And finally, the most exciting front rower in the world, I think he's probably up there with the best front rowers in the world at the moment. The tight head prop, Tanela Tupou, the Tongan Thor, they call him. He's 25 years of age. He's 128 kilos. He's 175 centimeters. I think he has 25 caps also for the Wallabies. So he's going to be a massive player. I am very excited to see him playing international rugby. And in Super Rugby, he's been very dominant. Even against New Zealand teams, he's just quite a force to reckon with in the scrummaging. And also, he's really good at running with the ball. He likes to run the ball. He has really good hands. His work rate is really high around the park. And he's one of the few players in the team that has the heart and grit to grind out a tough game. So he is very, very, very talented star player for the Wallabies. Very, very happy to and really excited to see him play. And then we have the hookers. First up, we've got Feleti Taitu'u. He plays for the Western Force. He's actually one of the players that's deserving of a position for the Wallabies from the Force team. He's played really, really well for the Western Force. His line-out throws has been quite good, decent. His defense is really, really good. He's uncapped for the Wallabies. Hopefully he could potentially. I have him in the starting 23 as a reserve hooker. But yeah, this will be he's very well deserving for a potential debut for the Wallabies. The second reserve hooker is Lachlan Lonergan. He's uncapped for the Wallabies. He plays for the Brumbies. He's 21 years old, 98 kilograms, 180 centimeters. He's played really, really, really well in the last few games in Super Rugby for the Brumbies. He's been carrying the ball really strong. He's all over the park. His set pieces are really, really solid. But I just think that he might get a bench start for the Wallabies. It's kind of like a 50-50 between him and Feleti for the bench spot. And finally, we have for the... I actually missed someone here. The final person for the Reds for the lock position is Brandon Pangamosa. And Brandon Pangamosa. He is most likely going to be starting for the Wallabies. He has 9 caps. He plays for the Reds. He's been a very solid performer for the Reds. He's 25 years of age, 117 kilos, 183 centimeters tall. There could be a little bit of problem with the hooker position, in my opinion. There's 2 uncapped players for the hookers, and Pangamosa only has 9 caps for the Reds. For the Wallabies. So I am a little bit surprised they didn't pick potentially some other hookers. In my mind. Murphy from the Reds, the reserve, played really, really well in the Super Rugby season. I think he might be injured. Maybe that's the reason he didn't get picked. But the hooker position is looking a little bit lacking in experience for the Wallabies. But Pangamosa has been pretty solid in his performance. So I'm not too worried about the lineouts being too bad. Now let's go to the second rowers. We have Matt Phillip. He has 9 test caps. He plays for the Rebels. He's 27 years of age, 115 kilos, and almost 2 meters tall, 199 centimeters tall. I don't see him starting, and I genuinely don't want to see. I genuinely don't think the Rebels players earn their spots in the Wallabies team. To be really frank with you, their performance in Super Rugby has been really, 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 really poor as a team. And I don't think he deserved a spot in the team, to be frank. But I think he's just here for an injury sub. But yeah, anyway. Second rower, this one could be a starting at number 5. Lucan Salakai Lotto, he's playing for the Reds. He's 24 years of age, 127 kilograms, and 198 centimeters tall. He's really, really good and really solid for the Reds. Really good at breakdown, really good at offload game, good support play, and he's overall quite a good player. And I think he's gonna get a starting spot at number 5 jersey for the Wallabies. And then we have Darcy Swain. He's uncapped for the Wallabies. He is 23 years of age. He's 108 kilos and 2 meters tall. He's placed the Brumbies, and the Brumbies has done really, really well this season with their lineouts. The maul has been set up quite well. The scrummaging's really well. So I do see Darcy potentially getting a starting debut for the Wallabies. So he could potentially be getting the number 4 jersey in the Wallabies team. So yeah, congratulations, Darcy. He's done well and earned the spot. And then finally, for the second rower, we'll have Sitaleki Temani. He plays for the Western Force. He has 18 caps for the Wallabies. Honestly, I don't see him getting a starting spot. The Western Force, or whilst the forward pack has been good, but has largely been, I'm not sure. I have him on the bench for the Wallabies, and his stats are he's 202 centimeters tall and 119 kilograms in height. But yeah, I'm not too sure about him getting a starting position. I think Darcy Swain deserves his debut for the Wallabies. Loose forwards. First up, we have Michael Hooper, 29 years of age, 101 kilograms, and 182 centimeters tall. He's lost some weight. That's a bit light for a loose forward, but I thought he was heavier. I thought it was like 115 or something. But anyway, he's been playing in Japan. He hasn't played at all for the Super Rugby, and he is the most experienced player for the Wallabies at 105 caps, and he is the captain. So he is a workhorse when he plays for the Wallabies. I do think that he sometimes gets himself out of position. He tends to be, he find himself in the wins. Sometimes he just work himself in a position where he ends up being a mismatch against the winger, and then he lets the winger through for a tackle, for instance. Sometimes he tends to find himself in those positions. But overall, I think he is the best selection for the number 7 jersey. From his previous performance in Test Rugby, he's just an absolute workhorse on the field. Unless his fitness has suffered due to playing Japan, but I don't see that as a potential issue. So the Japanese competition has quite a lot of international talents in it, so it's not really like an easier competition per se. Hooper getting the number 7 jersey as the captain for the Wallabies. And then we have Rob Leota. He's uncapped for the Melbourne Rebels. Probably going to be an injury replacement for the loose forward position. There's loose forward position is quite stacked. He's 24 years of age, 110 kilograms, and 190 centimeters tall. And once again, the Rebels players, I don't think they're very good. I don't want to see any of them really in the starting team. Fraser McWright, he plays for the Reds. He's 22 years of age, 100 kilograms, 184 centimeters tall. He has 1 cap last year for the Wallabies. He has played really well for the Reds, and I probably would really like to see him start over Michael Hooper, to be really frank. But I do think that he probably lacked a bit of experience into the international games. If he has like 10 or 20 games under his belt, I will start him over Michael Hooper. But it's just that he only has 1 cap, so I have him on the bench. And then we have this man. He's the only player in the Rebels team, I think, deserving of a spot in the Wallabies starting team. And he's Izzy Naisarani. He's been injured for half the season. He came back and he played really, really well for the Rebels. His defense has been good. He runs the ball really hard. He gets over the advantage line every time he gets the ball. He's 26 years of age, 110 kilos, 195 centimeters tall, and he has 8 caps for the Wallabies. So he's the only player that I think deserves a spot. But unfortunately, just looking at how stacked the team is, I don't see him actually getting a spot in the starting 23, to be really frank. So let's go forward. But he does. If anyone deserves one from the Rebels, it's him. And then we have Lachie Swinton, Lachie Red Card Swinton, infamously for getting a red card in his debut match. He's only ever had 1 test cap and he got a red card, so he was banned for the rest of the international season last year. He plays for the Waratahs. He's 24 years of age, 108 kilograms weight, and 195 centimeters. I think he might be banned for 1 more match, depends on how things happen. He got a red card yesterday, and for a high shot in the ruck. So he might be banned and not able to play for any of the test matches. Maybe one of the test matches or something. I don't know. But he might not be able to play. So I don't have him. So in my selections, he's not really in the bench either. He's just in the squad. Really unfortunate because he probably has the talent to be something in the future for the Wallabies. And then we have Rob Valentini. He has 4 test matches for the Wallabies, 22 years of age, 113 kilograms and 193 centimeters. He's an absolute big man. He's played really, really well for the Brumbies. He crashes the ball. He's scored a few tries with his just hard running crash ball. And he's really good at linking up with the backs. He's quite like agile for a forward. So I have him at the starting position for the number 8 spot. And he's the reason why Naisarani is not going to get a start. Because he's performing really, really well for the Brumbies. And really in form as well. So I do think that he's going to be the starting number 8. And then we have Michael Wells. He's an uncapped Rebels player, 28 years of age, 108 kilograms and 190 centimeters. Again, I'm not a big fan of Rebels players, but he's in the team as an injury sub. And then we have Harry Wilson. He plays for the Reds. He has 6 caps for the Wallabies, 21 years of age, 106 kilograms, 195 centimeters. He's actually developing really, really well throughout the season. He's grown and developed and got better and better throughout the season. In the last few games, he's actually like one of the best players in the Reds team, both in defense, in running with the ball, in lineouts. His support play is really, really good as well. His work rate is incredibly high. So I have him at starting position at number 6 jersey. So he's really done well for the Reds. And he's scored tries against Crusaders, set up a try for Crusaders, scored a try himself. So he's quite talented, to be frank. And I'm very excited to see him against the French. And yeah, he's just getting better. And he's only 21 years of age. And he's got a very, very big future ahead of him. So I think he's earned this start at the number 6 position for the Wallabies. And then we have the halfbacks. So Jake Gordon, 27 years of age, 85 kilos and 186 centimeters. He has 5 caps for Wallabies. Unfortunately, I think he might be injured. So he's probably not even going to get a chance to play due to the injury. But yeah, he is selected. He got injured yesterday. So this selection came out today. So he's probably not going to be cleared for the test. Tate McDermott, he's the fly half of the halfback for the Reds. He has 2 caps for the Wallabies last year. He's 22 years of age, 82 kilograms and 179 centimeters. He is by far the best halfback in the Australian sides. His decision making is really good. He's really threatening around the rucks. He's got quite a few really brilliant individual tries. And his support play is really good. Has really good vision around the field. His box kicking is really, really good. I think I'll be very surprised if he does not get the starting number 9 jersey for the Wallabies. But he is quite the player to watch out for. And he's got a big man in the French series. Anton Dupont, widely considered the best in Europe. Halfback in the world. So Anton Dupont, one of the players who has incredible vision around the field. He's just the amount of tricks that he has in his pocket to exploit spaces around the rocks, behind your defense line is just incredible player to watch. So McDermott will have a really, really challenging task ahead of him. But I do think McDermott has that spark, has that spontaneity to match Anton Dupont. So it'll be a really, really good matchup to actually watch this French series coming up. So very excited to see for McDermott. And then also we have the more veteran Nick White, 37 caps for the Wallabies, 31 years of age, 80 kilos and 175 centimeters. I think he will come on the field as a finisher in the second half. I will be very, very surprised if Rennie picked Nick White over McDermott at the starting spot. But Nick White is also pretty good. His box kicking hasn't been great, to be really frank. But when he is good, he's really, really good. Really fast around the rocks. He's overall pretty solid. I'm pretty happy about him being on the bench coming up in the second half to finish off the game. And we've seen him winning Bledisloe Cup, coming off the winning a Bledisloe Cup game against the All Blacks coming off the bench many years ago. So he's definitely one of the better finishers out there in the number 9 position. Now, the 5'8", we have only 2 5'8". We have Lolosio. Noah Lolosio. He's only got 2 caps last year for the Wallabies. He's 21 years of age, 89 kilos, 180 centimeters tall. He played really well for the Brumbies this year. He's really solid. His kicking has been spectacular, spot on, and he's being able to direct traffic quite well. So he probably needs a little bit more experience for international games, but I would see him as a reserve. He'll probably get I think he'd probably get a reserve spot for the Wallabies. And at the starting position for the Wallabies is James Rabbit O'Connor. He is the he used to be considered the best player, like the future of Australian rugby basically. And then he had a bit of off-field shenanigans, but now he's back. He's in form. His kicking has been good. He had a tiny bit of injury last couple of weeks, but I think he should be fine for the French games. It'll be really good to see him. He's just developed into a really solid 5'8". His kicking is very good. His running game has been really good at exploiting spaces and offloading. And his just like overall kicking game on the field has also been really good. So James O'Connor will probably get the number 10 jersey for the Wallabies team. And then we have in centers, we have Lalakai Foketi. He's uncapped he plays for the Waratahs, and he's 26 years of age. He's 100 kilograms and he's 187 centimeters. He's one of the Waratahs players that's actually been playing quite decently, in my opinion. Not too bad for the Waratahs. His defense might be a little bit off, but the center position for the Wallabies has been really injury high. So I think he might get a start. He might get a debut start at number 12 jersey just because the injuries that's been piling up for the Wallabies. And then we have Len Ikitau. He's uncapped for the Wallabies. He's 22 years of age. He plays for the Brumbies, 90 kilos, 180 centimeters. He has a pretty solid performance for the Brumbies. And he's also another player who could potentially get a start, his debut start at number 12 jersey due to injuries from other players. But it would be nice to see who gets the starting 12 between him and Fukueti. And then we have the center position, outside center position, Hunter Paisami. He has 6 caps for the Wallabies. He plays for the Reds, 23 years of age, 96 kilograms at 172 centimeters. Look at this guy. He's 96 kilograms and he's only 172 centimeters tall. He's an absolute unit. And you can see him on the field. He just runs at you like an absolute freight train. And he's really good at running the ball. And he's most likely I think he's going to get the number 13 jersey for the Wallabies starting position, and I'm very excited to see him play. Isaiah Peresi, he is probably, he was, gonna be the starting number 12 for in my books. He played really well for the Waratahs. Every time he got the ball, he's just breaking tackles left and right. He's by far the best performance for the Waratahs. However, last night he suffered a dislocated shoulder, so not 100% sure if he's going to make it back in time for the French game. So it depends how bad the dislocated shoulder is. Yeah, we'll have to see if he's going to be in shape. So at the moment, I have him a big question mark for him, but it would be really nice to see him play because he is absolute electrifying on the field to watch. And he went to Churchy, Anglican Church Grammar. Yeah. Interesting. And then we have Matt Tuamua. I think he went to Brisbane State High School. He plays for the Rebels. He's 31 years of age, 90 kilos, 182 centimeters. He's probably, here's the problem. He's probably going to be the starting number 12 for the Wallabies. But I really want to see the other two youngsters get to go. I really want to see Len Ikitau get to go, or Lalakai Fuketi gets to go at starting at number 12. But I think Rennie might go for the safe option, have Tamura starting. So the issue with Tamura is that his form has been dropping throughout the season. He started the season quite well, and he's just been slowly declining in the last few rounds of the Super Rugby. And I am not really confident that he's gonna do the job for the Wallabies at number 12 position, to be really frank. And he also got injured in the last round or two, I think last round. But he was playing center in the last few weeks, and they had a new fella coming in to play number 10, and the Rebels just look better in their attack without Tamura. His overall speed around the field is not as fast as it used to be. His kicking has been dropping. It's not that it's going to be an issue, but still, and at center position, I am not really confident with him, to be honest, at inside center. But yeah, we'll see how the selections go. And yeah, once again, the Rebels players has been pretty awful this season. That's just the fact. And then we have outside backs. Tom Banks, 26 years of age, 93 kilograms tall. Kilograms weight, 186 centimeters tall. He is by far the best fullback at number 15 spot for the Wallabies, for the in Australia. He's incredibly good. He gets the ball, he runs through people. He's big, he's fast, he's got great step. His running game, his kicking game is spectacular. Has a really big boot, and he's just what I can say. A double plus for the Wallabies. Number 15. Lock that in for the Wallabies. Tom Banks. He has 11 caps for the Wallabies already, and big things to come for this guy in the future, I guess. Yeah, Tom Banks. He's very, very good. Next, Filippo Dagunu. He 26 years of age, 91 kilos, 175 centimeters. He hasn't been in play well in the start of the Super Rugby season, and he actually missed out the training camp for the Wallabies. But he's in the second half season, he's really came back and played really, really well. So he is decent in defense, very good in attack, very threatening. He's got great footwork. He has 5 caps already for the Wallabies, and I'll have him starting at number 14 in the blindside winger position. So very excited to see him play for the Wallabies. Again, we have Reece Hodge. He's been injured for a long time now, but I think he might be ready for the Wallabies. He's 45 games already under the belt for the Wallabies. Last year, he played really, really, really well for the Wallabies. He stepped in as a reserve fly half, and he's done just quite well. His kicking was really good. And 94 kilograms, 191 centimeters tall. Yeah, unfortunately, Tom, he could potentially play 15, but I think Tom Banks is just way too good to not be in the starting team. So plus Reece has been injured, so I think Reece Hodge might be a reserve for Tom Banks, for like a utility reserve for the backs. He can play pretty much every position in the backs. So I have him as a reserve for the Wallabies. Andrew Callaway, next person, he's uncapped. He plays for the Rebels, and 106 kilograms weight, 186 centimeters tall. He's plays for a winger. He's Rebels, he's okay, but the Rebels players, I'm not really. I think they need to work a bit more than the season that they've had to deserve a spot. And also Marika Corambetti, 34 caps, plays for the Rebels. Again, I don't think he deserved a spot in the Wallabies. His running game he scored 2 tries the whole season in one game, which he played quite well. For the rest of the season, he works really hard around the field, but he was his defense. So with Marika, I'm pretty happy with his running game, his attacking game. His kicking has been a little bit lacking. So he's not really that much of a kicker. So that is one issue. And another issue is his defense. His defense is quite poor. Not gonna lie. Last few weeks in Super Rugby, his tackling has been pretty off. So yeah, not really happy for his performance there in defense. He's 93 kilograms and 180 centimeters. So I don't have him even as a reserve. So he's just an injury sub for the Wallabies in my books. And then we have Andy Muirhead. He plays for the Brumbies. He's uncapped. He's actually done really, really well for the Brumbies this season. He's 84 kilograms, 183 centimeters. I have him as a reserve for the Wallabies, potentially getting a debut. So yeah, so Muirhead, I think he really deserved his debut for the Wallabies. He's played really, really well, really, really solid for the Brumbies throughout the season. And finally, another guy for the Brumbies, Tom Wright. He is actually really, really, really good on the wing for the Brumbies. I have him at the number 11 jersey. Him and Tom Banks were just tearing people up in the Super Rugby season. And he has 3 caps for the Wallabies. And he's really in form. His steps is really good. His running game is really good. His great vision around the field. So, yeah, I think he definitely deserves the starting number 11 jersey. And he's a very, very solid player. And that is the final pick for the team. And that is the final pick. And I don't know. Hopefully the Wallabies don't play too badly against the French. The French is the one thing that the Wallabies cannot do is underestimate the French. They have been really, really good in Six Nations. So it'll be a really tough game for the Wallabies. And some of the selections are a little bit questionable. The number of Melbourne Rebels players. I honestly probably thought one of the Rebels player, maybe 2, could potentially make the selection, but they selected 9. So yeah, we'll see who actually gets a start in probably a month or so. But yeah, that is the team, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next week for some rugby news. Cheers.